This is the Pngtv Live News. I'm Quintina Naime. Devastated areas from the 7.5 magnitude earthquake in the Highlands region can now be accessed by road. Talking on FM 100 Talkback show today, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill updated the nation on the ongoing relief exercise underway in Southern Highlands and Hela provinces. One major achievement in the last 2 days is the access into Kutubu and Kikori, from Kikori in the Gulf province. Festus Maganab reports.
It's nearly 2 weeks now. Relief and restoration efforts in areas severely affected by the 7.5 magnitude earthquake are gaining momentum. Support continues to pour in from bilateral partners, major development investors, and the private sector at large. Hela province, home to the multi-billion Kina LNG project, is the worst hit. Access by roads to bring in relief supplies had been difficult since day one.
The Honourable Peter O'Neill. Good morning to you, Prime Minister.
Good morning, Douglas, and good morning.
On a positive note today, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill told the nation that major access links into the area have been restored, including the opening of the Kikori-Kutubu road link along the LNG pipeline.
Also have cleared all the road from Kikori all the way up to what we call the pipeline road. That is all the way up to Kutubu. So we are able to now take supplies from Kopi, and we're taking it right into Kutubu so that we can have the restoration work started in those areas as well.
This means that truckloads of supplies are finally being transported into Tari from the Western Highlands capital, Mount Hagen. Prime Minister O'Neill also commended Oil Search, ExxonMobil, Mineral Resource Development Corporation, and other development partners for their continued assistance in the delivery of supplies using helicopters. In the last 2 days, almost 120 tons of necessary supplies were flown into Moro for easy distribution to outer line communities. However, access into Hides and Como remains difficult due to the extent of damage done. The Prime Minister reported the 3.2-kilometer Como airfield of the LNG project received a 900-meter crack in the middle.
So that airport remains closed. The engineers are already on the ground. Experts from the United States and Australia have already been mobilized, and they're already on the ground doing studies on whether we can rescue that airport or not. It certainly will take some time to rebuild.
And while major road links have been cleared of debris, contractors are permanently stationed on the ground to mend the roads as landslides from aftershocks continue. Festus Maganab, Pngtv Live.
Meantime, first relief supplies from the government have finally been delivered to the care center in Pimaga Station in the Kutubu LLG. Over 100 bags of 10 kg rice, tin fish, biscuits and mosquito nets arrived at the station in a first series of flights today. The delivery was made possible by the assistance of MRDC funding and coordinating the flight. Southern Highlands Province Governor William Powie flew in as well for the first time to see the plight of the people displaced in the February 26th earthquake. Following the successful hosting of the first APEC 2018 Senior Officials Meeting, or SOM1, Papua New Guinea was able to deliver at APEC standards on all fronts, including policy, logistics and security. SOM1 and related meetings is significant as it is the first formal meeting and the largest SOM cluster meeting that the country will host in 2018, apart from Leaders' Week in November. The first senior officials meeting has been a successful 2 days overall, with the endorsement of APEC technical fora work plans and how the work plans of 2018 have responded to the 2018 PNG theme and priorities. 2018 APEC SOM Chair Ambassador Ivan Pomaleo says the senior officials discussed a wide range of issues focusing on trade and investments, including the trade space and multilateral trade issues.
Dealing with structural reform agenda under the Economic Committee and some of the key considerations on what would it take to to firstly facilitate a APEC vision group process, which would then deliver to the leaders after 2019-2020 a new set of vision for APEC.
Executive Director of the APEC Secretariat, Dr. Alan Bullard, reveals it was a successful cluster of meetings with delegates pleased with the organization of meetings.
Also, of course, we had to see how the arrangements would all go and the logistics of that as well, because with this number of people coming to town, it is a very big exercise. Delegates have been very pleased with how that's all gone. We've had a chance to view arrangements. The arrangements for the meetings have gone well. The preparations for the Leaders' Week look like they're well in hand, so we're very pleased about how it's been going.
Ambassador Pomaleo highlights the inaugural meeting of the SOM Steering Group on Post 2020 met for the first time this week to discuss the organizational way forward for the establishment of the APEC Vision Group. This Vision Group will be a significant grouping within the APEC structure as they will chart the way forward for APEC Post 2020. Lae Police is still experiencing an increase in road accidents within Lae City and along the highway to Nadzap. Lae Police boss Anthony Wagambi Jr. questioned the process in which drivers have been issued license to drive. Florida Gulaseni reports.
Lae Police boss Anthony Wagambi Jr. says most of the accidents have been caused by reckless driving and not considering other road uses. Police in Lae will be stepping up on random vehicle checks on licenses and also will be working closely with the Morabel Land Transport Board to address these issues. He adds that there are also many vehicles that are not worthy to be on the road. He is now calling on drivers and owners of vehicles to take note that they will be conducting a major crackdown. With drink driving a big problem, Wagambi wants those who drink and drive and break traffic rules that they will be arrested and charged and licenses cancelled and vehicles impounded. Wagambi also informed the public of Lae that police do not have the manpower and resources to adequately carry out checks, but they will combine with other stakeholders to do something about this issue. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Pngtv Live News. The opposition has shown its support towards the government's relief exercise in areas affected by the recent earthquake. They made their stand known today in a media conference, pledging their support. Festus Maganap with this story.
These were the opposition leaders present at a conference today, pledging their support towards relief exercise in the earthquake-devastated areas of the highlands.
The main emphasis we want to place today in this press conference is for the government to put more emphasis on the relief work. That is the urgent emergency services that the people need right now.
However, they urged the government for proper costing towards the earthquake relief funds, which means more needed in terms of information on the extent of damage before a figure approved.
And these are the issues, the priorities government had to recast. We cannot really tell today, where it should come from. I think it needs to be discussed by Parliament and the priorities reset. For this disaster, it's pointless predetermining how much should be spent. I think we should find all we can, to spend this money for the people's welfare. So it is a big question. Review of the budget is necessary, so we can find and allocate the resources we need to help people's relief and the infrastructure.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill earlier today made it known that Parliament will be recalled. Passing of the Restoration Authority Act will be the #1 agenda. Festus Maigana, Pngtv Live.
The patrol beetle nut ban that was reintroduced by the National Capital District Commission is set to kick-start on Monday the 12th of March at the Boroko City Centre. This will be in line with NCD's efforts of creating a safe, healthy and a clean Port Moresby by the end of this month. Florida Gulaseni reports.
NCD City Manager Bernard Kippett says the partial ban is a model project and will see a number of outcomes achieved to uplift the image of the city to keep it clean and hygienic. Boroko has been identified by the NCD Governor Powers Pakop to see the rollout of the project before it moves to other parts of the city.
There are other areas which we identified to be areas, which buoy activities can be sold or take place there. Will also be announced to the public, so that you will know about those locations and what to do in the near future.
He adds, as part of the enforcement implementation of the program, the outcomes looked at are to have a clean place, ceasing all illegal activities.
We want Boroko to be litter-free. We want no built-in sale at Boroko. No spitting. If you're chewing and you're spitting, please, we encourage that you not to spit in any public areas in Boroko.
Kippett adds police will be involved under the command of NCD Metropolitan Superintendent and will help in this project. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero Andrano, in support of the partial bitonat ban, assured the city manager and the governor for NCD that his responsibility is to enforce the NCDC rules and laws.
That is to ensure that place is clean, hygienic, and free from all sorts of rubbish. We'll be working with the designated security that is going to work with us, as well as the NCD reservists and NCD police.
Together with the city manager, Andrano appealed to the residents of the city that the aim of the partial bitonat ban can only be achieved with the cooperation and support of everyone. The partial ban will only be exercised in the public areas of Boroko for a month, and if it is secured with positive results achieved, then the partial bitonat ban will move to other parts of the city. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
Papua New Guinea has a lot to offer the wider Pacific region. Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat, Dame Meg Taylor, says Pacific Island countries, including PNG, must work together to build a region that is increasingly resilient to the effects of climate change and disaster. The Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat's regional policy consultations took place this week in Port Moresby. They covered a range of issues, including regional security, labor mobility, and strengthening the region's resilience to the effects of climate change and disaster. The Secretariat has been engaged in meetings during the week with senior government officials from the Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Planning, the Climate Change, Immigration, as well as the National Research Institute and the Institute of National Affairs. They have also been in dialogue with representatives of civil society and private sector organizations. Dame Taylor highlights the discussions this week included a look at what Papua New Guinea could both offer and receive from innovative and sustainable financing solutions for economic resilience. She says this is something they hope to present to Forum Economic Ministers meeting when they meet in April in Palau. Lay Police will commence their community networking program next week to network and seek views from the public to see best ways to do policing to improve the safety of the city. Lay Police boss Anthony Wagambi Jr. says the program is seen as the best way to address the crime rates in the city, for police cannot do it alone. Florida Gulaseni with more.
The first community to roll out this program will be the Bumbu settlement in Lay. Wagambi says the officer in charge of community policing has been directed and many senior ranking officers will be present at the meet. He adds the purpose of this is to meet with the communities and seek their views on how best they can do policing together and see what needs to be improved, their setbacks, and most importantly, what can be done together as a community to ensure public safety. Wagambi emphasized strongly that the community approach in policing must be used, for it is tailored to meet community needs. Starting next week, Lay Police will be moving to different parts of Lay City when arranged, and senior commands will meet face-to-face with the communities. Wagambi says he and his men will be open to criticism from the public during these times and try their very best to win back the confidence of the public they serve. Different times and dates for communities within Lae City will be arranged, and this will be announced on Monday, the 19th of March. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
You're watching Pngtv Live News. More after this break. In Pngtv Live News, relief assistance continues to pour in for those affected by the devastating earthquake. The Chinese Enterprise Association to the PNG government handed over a check of 1,006,000 kina to the 2018 earthquake disaster restoration. Florida Gulaseni with this report.
The members of the Chinese Enterprise Association, who have lived and worked in Papua New Guinea for years and forming strong relationships with the people of Papua New Guinea, are still deeply affected by the tragic experience faced at date. Deputy Chef of Mission of the Chinese Embassy, His Excellency Yao Ming, says, concerned with the situation, the Chinese Embassy in Papua New Guinea called an urgent meeting with the Chinese SOEs, or State of Emergencies, in Papua New Guinea and Chinese companies throughout the country to help.
This shows, as the Chinese saying goes, when one side is suffering, all other sides are coming to help. And as you can see, all Chinese enterprises are committed to offer our helping hand.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, upon receiving the check, thanked the Chinese Enterprise Association for their support.
The Chinese state-owned enterprises continue to be very strong partner in our development agenda for our country. And today's donation to our relief efforts is another indication of the strong commitment of the Chinese community and Chinese businesses who are working and living with us.
Prime Minister adds that rebuilding the earthquake-affected communities within the next few weeks or months will be difficult, but with such support, the people will be back to normalcy soon.
And it will require a lot of effort and time so that we can be able to take the relief supplies to these communities. Our government's efforts have been supported by many organizations. The Chinese government is one of the large contributors to that.
The Chinese Enterprise Association says they look forward to assist in any way they can to rebuild homes in the coming days and believes that with the leadership of the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, the people will rebuild their homes soon. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
To sporting news, a total of 30,900 shirts were sold by the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee in Port Moresby and Lae this week to raise funds for Team PNG to the Commonwealth Games. The first auction, held in Lae on Wednesday evening, sold 17,000 shirts for 170,000 kina. A further 5,300 kina was raised from the sales of signed SP Hunters jersey for 2,800 kina and a signed North Queensland Cowboys jersey, which went for 2,500 kina. Florida Gulaseni reports.
The items were purchased by Trustia and Territory Packaging, respectively, in Lae. President of the PNG Olympic Committee, Sir John Dawanikura, says the organization is grateful to the business community in Lae and Port Moresby for their continuous support through the Trukai Fund run. The overall funds raised from both auctions were 309,000. The top 5 bidders were rewarded with return airline tickets to Sydney, Brisbane, Singapore, Hong Kong and Cairns as a courtesy of Air New Guinea. Sir John also acknowledged the other bidders who attended the auctions, saying that their support for Team Papua New Guinea is greatly appreciated. Their support makes it possible to send Papua New Guinea's elite athletes to international sporting events where they continue to amaze and inspire us. The Trukai Fund Run not only raises much-needed funds for Team PNG, but also has a wide-ranging benefit to the community. Participants of the fund run have the opportunity to win prizes and also get a scholarship to study at the IBS University. Schools who are donated the shirts can raise extra funds for their projects, while businesses who brought the shirts advertise their brand or message on the shirt. He invited the bidders to join the fun run on June 24th nationwide and to follow the progress of Team PNG at the Commonwealth Games, which runs from the April 4th to the 15th in Gold Coast, Australia. The bought T-shirts will be donated to schools and charities in the communities, which can be sold at a price not more than 10 kina. Money from this is kept by the institutions for their projects. Florida Gulaseni, Pngtv Live.
The Queensland Interest Super Cup was launched today in Brisbane, Australia. This also saw the launch of an exciting new era of pathway competitions for the Queensland Rugby League, which would strengthen the Interest Cup. Round 1 of the Interest Super Cup gets underway tomorrow with the Sunshine Coast Falcons hosting the Bears. PNG Hunters begin their premiership defense with a home match against the unpredictable Ipswich Jets on Sunday. Interest Super CEO Brendan O'Farrell says he is looking forward to another fantastic year of competition. He says it's a true privilege to be able to support the Queensland's efforts to ensure everyone can share in the fantastic opportunity to access great footy week after week. And that's the Pngtv Live News Bulletin. From myself and the news team, good night.